All right, hello everyone and welcome to the November subscription tasting video. Today I have brought back Mr. Ben.
Yeah, hello.
The famous potato we call him. We used to call him, but he's more like a...
Forever potato.
Yeah. But you're a wholesale manager in our company.
Yeah.
And you've been working here for a long time.
Mm. Yeah, what, 8 years nearly?
Yeah.
So, wow, it's gone fast.
Yeah, it has.
So, like potato, because I've done lots of roles here. I started in the office, worked in the roastery. Now, yeah, working with wholesale customers. So,
yeah. So doing basically training.
Yeah, support, helping people with the brew, anything they need, making sure that they have everything they need to make the coffee taste good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really fun job.
Yeah, it's difficult to serve coffee if you don't take it seriously. It's not going to taste good. So for us, when we sell our coffee to a restaurant, you make sure that it tastes good.
Yeah, for sure. Like when we sell it, for us, the job's not done. We want to help them to make it as good as possible.
Yeah.
So it's all about just small things like that. If you set in place a good routine, it's really easy to get really delicious coffee. But yeah, so I get to work with restaurants, cafes, some offices. Yeah, it's really nice to go and work with all these other customers.
Yeah, and sometimes you even help our subscribers.
That's right. Yeah.
You get some emails from every now and then, wondering how to brew a coffee or something.
Yep, we get lots of feedback, which is always really appreciated because
Yeah.
it's nice to hear how people are experiencing it. And if we can have any tips on how it can taste better, then we'd love to do that. So, yeah.
My tip is use good water, a good grinder, and good ratios, and off you go.
Good coffee, and that's it, basically, coffee and water. Yeah.
It's hard to really screw up good coffee, I think.
Yeah, if you start with good coffee, like you're going to get a good result at home.
Yeah.
I don't have any fancy brewing equipment at home. I use a very simple grinder, filter brewer, and good coffee, and it's fresh, it's good.
I have a good grinder now.
Yeah.
I bought it last year, so it's been a long time without a very good grinder at home.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to taste the 3 coffees we're sending out to all our subscribers.
Yum.
For those of you who don't know what a coffee subscription is, you probably know since you're watching this video, but you can subscribe from 1 to 6 bags, and we ship it every first Wednesday of the month. I actually choose the coffees we send out. So if you subscribe to 4 bags, that means you get 1 of each of these coffees we're going to taste, plus an extra bag of the first coffee. Yeah. And the 5th, if you subscribe to 5 coffees, you get 2 of the first 2 coffees, and so on. Mm. And you can pause and stop the subscription at any time. Yep. We're actually building a new website as we speak. It's probably out already. So because we're recording this a little bit before November, and the whole idea is to make it easier for everyone to handle, especially subscription.
Manage your subscription.
Yeah. Cool. So I've selected 3 very, very nice coffees for November. Yes. It's getting cold, so
it is in Norway.
You can hear that I have a cold already. So it's getting cold in Norway, and we want to taste some nice, intense coffees. I think when it gets cold, we eat a lot of heavy food now, so
it's true.
It's good to have something with some intensity. And I've actually selected 3 coffees from the same country, from Honduras. You've worked here so long now, so you kind of know all the coffees we have, but every year they're a little bit different. Yeah,
and I actually asked to be part of this video because these coffees are some of my favorites. So I love tasting these ones every year.
Yeah.
So
there's a few of our subscribers in Australia that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we have some pairs of these ones, so get ready for this.
Yeah. Okay, so we just dig into it.
Go ahead, yeah.
So the first coffee is an SL28, so Kenyan variety, grown in the Caballero's farm in Marcala in Honduras, or near Marcala in Honduras. So it's a Kenyan coffee grown in Honduras, but doesn't necessarily taste like a Kenyan coffee, I have to say. It's different, it's delicious, but it's different than if you drank a Kenyan coffee.
Of course, yeah. Of course, side by side, they're going to be, the Kenyan's probably going to have much more acidity, much more that aromatic red fruit flavor. Yeah. But you can see it in this as well. Plus I get this sort of herbal, kind of stone fruity flavors that we get from other coffees from the Caballeros.
Let's taste it. Maybe a bit more on the chocolatey side with some fruit. Yeah. Not too high or intense acidity. No. But still quite a concentrated coffee.
Yeah, I would say, and very like smooth mouthfeel. Yeah. Kind of like creamy and
And sweet.
Sweet.
So these seeds were planted. We actually helped Moises get some seeds, and We planted them, I don't even remember. It's probably 8 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And every year he's producing a little bit more.
Yeah, we haven't had lots of SL28 from them, have we?
No. And I think the reason is, I think he has over 80 different cultivars on his farm, or 50. But he's only producing maybe 10.
Yeah.
And he tries to focus on the varieties that have a better yield, that have less problems with the trees, and also give a good quality.
So the lot's small, and I guess it's only going out to subscribers?
More or less. Yeah. We have a little bit extra. So this year we actually bought 2 lots that were, I think, 600 kilos each or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So we will have some to offer outside of the subscription.
Yeah.
But it's a nice coffee, yeah?
It's fantastic.
And if you're used to drinking like the Catuai from the Caballeros, the Catuai is much more like chocolatey and herbal.
Yeah.
This is more like chocolatey and fruity, I would say.
Yeah.
So you don't really get it on, like you can really taste it when you have those two side by side. So that's a good exercise.
Yeah. Dried fruit sort of sweetness, you know, like not like fresh acidic dried fruits, but more like a raisin or something, like these really sweet dried fruits.
Yeah.
For me.
Cool. So that's the first coffee we're sending out to all our subscribers. The second one is actually the same seeds.
Oh.
But grown at Nacimiento, up north in Honduras.
You made 2 stops on that trip?
Yep. Yeah. So I'll give you some extra.
Yeah, thank you.
So here you can, this farm is a totally different climate, higher altitude, but it doesn't mean that it's colder or anything, because Marysabel and Moises actually have a lot of problems with frost. So, and Jobneel never really has a huge issue with it. Yeah. He had it 1 year when I was there, and that was actually at the top of the farm where these trees are planted. So this is on 1,800 meters, and the trees are planted in like a very rocky hill.
Yeah.
And right above them is a national park, so it's kind of on as high as you can go on that mountain.
Yeah.
We planted these also the same year with the Marysabel and Moises. I can't remember the year, probably 2013 or something, 10 years ago. And every year it's producing a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's taste it.
Interesting. Well, straight away, like more acidity. Like you get that tang on the tongue.
Yeah.
And comparing them, there's more red fruit flavor in that. It's a bit more intense.
Yeah. Yeah. More like a Kenyan coffee.
More Kenyan, style.
But they came from the same seed, so it's this. Now we're like mainly tasting different places. Every year, I've tasted them. The one from Nacimiento is always more intense.
Yeah.
But it's also much colder there during harvest time, and he ferments the coffees a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So you can taste a little bit.
What's that, like 12 hours on or something?
More like 36 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really depends. Sometimes he lets it ferment overnight, and then he kind of stirs the coffee to get some air in, and then it really accelerates the fermentation, and then he washes the day after.
But it is colder overnight too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because you get more of that kind of like red fruit, like straight away.
And a little bit of ferment flavor, I would say. It's kind of this wininess that is, when done properly, it's really nice and complements the coffee. And when it's overdone, it turns into rotten fruit.
Yeah.
You think it's overdone here?
No. There's nothing rotten about that. I love it. I think it's like, this is the second time I've tasted this after a test roast last week, and I feel like it's back again to where we were like a couple of years. It was maybe a little muted. Yeah. But this has much more of that like vibrant flavor again. So
last season, so the year 2022 harvest was not the best for Jobneel. So he struggled a lot. They had really bad weather. He was supposed to produce like 130 something bags, and he ended up producing 70 bags. Yeah. And the trees were really struggling, so the quality was not the greatest last year. Yeah. This year, I think the quality is back. It's not maybe as high as it has been. You know, sometimes you get these years where it tastes fantastic. But we did buy at least 4 of the 9 lots we bought from him are like super good, and the rest is good.
Yeah. So what is the harvest date on the SL?
I can't remember on top of my head, but it's
March,
probably March, April.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little bit later.
The late one.
I think because it's not a lot of coffee, he has mixed a few different pickings.
Yeah.
So because it's from the top of the farm, they normally start harvesting there around March,
Yeah.
and then continue throughout June. But in June we actually ship the coffee, so this is probably March, April, May.
Summer, May. Yeah. Because as we've found in the past, like usually the later harvests have that more intensity, like they're high altitudes and they take a little longer to ripen. And so.
Funnily, this year he had one picking from the top of the farm very early. So the climate is changing a lot there, and they're seeing very abnormal harvest patterns on the farm. So the harvest has always been very long there, but now it's kind of all over the place.
Wow.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
That makes it hard for being a farmer.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah.
And also because it's on top of the mountain, it's hard to get pickers because they don't want to go up there.
Yeah.
So he has to pay them a higher price to attract them, and also really make sure that they do a good job while they're there as well.
Yeah. I've seen photos. It's literally like that. Like it's steep, isn't it?
It's steep.
It's the side of a mountain. Yeah.
So they normally use mules to carry this coffee down, the cherries, and they would depulp, ferment the coffee, and wash the coffee on the farmhouse, which is at 1,500 meters, and then they drive the coffee down to his house where he lives, which is in a small town nearby, at around 1,000 meters maybe. Yeah. So there it's much more sun, so it's more efficient to dry, and also less risk of people stealing the coffee because that's where he lives.
Yeah.
All right, the third coffee is also from the Caballero family, and it's a geisha, their famous geisha.
Yeah.
And like previous years, we have carefully selected the lots we buy. They do produce more geisha than we can buy, and we are lucky to be able to taste through the lots that they have and select the ones we like. And last year we had a honey processed coffee and washed. This year we only have washed ones.
Oh, this is so good. It's a personal favorite. Like probably the one on our menu that I always go to. So yeah.
I think maybe 10% of what we roast of this coffee goes to Ben's apartment. Because we brew a lot of this coffee.
I do take it home. Yeah, I love it. I just love the like complexity, those like floral notes, sweet. Yeah. It's easy to brew because it's so kind of forgiving because it's so much aroma. Yeah. That I can wake up on a Sunday morning, put it on, I'll be like, So.
And it's got a lot of this texture, like sort of like a honey-like texture.
Yeah.
And it has honey aromas as well, I think.
Yeah.
And a little bit of florals. I get like mandarin.
Yeah, I get this almost overripe mandarin flavor where it's just kind of like a slightly fermented sort of tangy mandarin flavor. Maybe more so in the honey processed one. This is really clean and it's intense, And I think also I remember roasting this back in the old days on the Pro Butt. And once we moved and started using the Loring here, for some reason I feel like the coffee just opened up and expressed itself more.
Yeah. Could be the roaster, could also be the actual coffee.
Yeah, it's a combination,
I think every year it's a little bit different. And also when these coffees are a little fresh, they're not that aromatic. So the longer we kind of wait throughout the year, the more aromatic they become, I think.
Yeah. So what's the harvest date on this guy?
So this is normally the harvest between February and March, sometimes January. But in March they're finished.
Yeah.
So the geishas are higher altitude, and that means later harvest normally.
Yeah. So it's arrived to us quite recently, and it's.
And Moises he has the dry mill as well. So not only does he do a very good job with the wet mill, they have actually built a small mill specifically for these varieties, where they do small volumes, and then they have the big mill where they do the bigger volumes of Katuai.
Yeah.
And then once it's processed there, he takes it to his house in Marcala to dry it there because it's much better drying conditions there.
On the patio.
On
the bed, sorry. Yeah. Not in the what do you call it?
Guardiolas.
Guardiolas. No.
So all the coffees we buy from them are dried on raised beds on the shade in Marcala by where they live.
Yeah.
And they have people stirring the coffee throughout the day. They cover it when it's hot, when it's raining. They also have like a rain cover.
Yeah.
So they take very good care of it. And then once he dry mills the coffee, we also do a screen sorting. So we leave out the smallest beans. And once we started doing that, I think we started doing that last year, it has become much easier to roast.
Yeah.
Because Geisha has some kind of longer beans.
Yeah, and,
yeah, but you can see like on the beans on this that it's not necessary, even though I know the seeds are from Panama, because a customer of Moises gave it to him. You can see on the beans that they're not as kind of long and pointy as a lot of the geishas you get in Panama.
Yeah.
So even though
there's a bit more of a mix, sort of.
Yeah. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is.
The way it grows. Yeah.
So yeah, which one is your favorite?
That's such a tough question.
Yeah.
I'll probably stick with these two. Like, I just love the geisha, so that's the one it's my sort of weekend coffee. SL28 from Nacimiento is like, when it comes around, it's a highlight every year.
Yeah.
So when you go back, you just get that really kind of like red fruit acidity in that one.
Super intense. Super intense.
This is like perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one, SL28 from Caballero, more like a comforty, chocolatey coffee.
Yeah.
Second one, more like red wine, I would say. The third one is more like a muscatel grape wine or something like that, like very floral and fresh. And cool.
Yum.
I hope you like these coffees as much as Ben did. I really enjoy drinking these, and especially when I drink them every year. I've been following these coffees for many years. They are always a little bit different. So I think for me at least that's what's interesting.
Yeah.
That's why we focus on buying washed coffees as well, because then you taste more of the kind of changes in climate, changing in the quality from the actual tree, and not necessarily only the processing flavors.
Yeah. Jobneel, Marysabel and Moises, like two producers that we're just buying for year after year, and like they just nail it. And I feel like they're doing such a good job. So quality is coming from them, and it's honestly a pleasure just to roast them and drink them here. Yeah.
Easy to roast, easy to brew, easy to drink.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for watching this video. And if you don't know what a subscription is, go to our website. There's a link below. You can subscribe from 1 to 6 bags, as we said. You can stop and pause at any time. You can also give it away as a Christmas gift to someone. We have a gift subscription.
That's a good idea. 3 bag is good, because then you get the access to this one as well.
Yeah. And I highly recommend tasting these side by side, if you can. If you only subscribe to 1 or 2, make sure you taste it next to another coffee. You know, that's how you learn how to taste. So
that's good to compare.
The way we brew this on this session was with an AeroPress, but you can brew it with a V60 or whatever. We have brewing guides as well on our YouTube channel, so just check those out. Yeah. And if you feel like you're not succeeding, you might have to tweak your brewing a little bit, because they should be quite aromatic, these coffees. So if you don't feel that, maybe it's the water, maybe it's the grinding, or maybe it's your ratio or something. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Ben, for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. See you next month.
Bye.